Welcome back to another episode of Who Am I to Judge podcast. I'm Alexis.
And I'm Samantha. Welcome back to the show, everybody.
Welcome back.
Sorry we took a week off. We had some life stuff.
was like stuff.
Just
What was the
like I
life?
think it was just me starting my new gig.
Yeah,
You guys,
that's exciting.
you're talking to a certified lifeguard. I it's funny, I used to lifeguard as like a kid, and then I was just like, you know, y'all know I've been looking for a job and just like what's next and stuff. And for the meantime, I was like, I need to get a job. And um yeah, I started lifeguarding again, and it has been definitely interesting as just
Moving
an
that
older
body.
person. As you can see, I'm very tan, which I love.
Yes, you are. Very tan.
But yeah, I feel like it's just that kind of like we were talking about, like I just need a job that's like low lift right now. And it's funny, this is like it's like on one hand it is like a low lift because most of the day nobody's at the pool. At least so far. But obviously it's very like serious too. It's like you have to save somebody if they drown. So it's just funny. But yeah, it's been cool so far. I like work at like a 55 and over community, and I realized that like I love old people and like kids. Like those are like my favorite demographic. So yeah, it's just been interesting. So yeah, last week I just had been getting used to my new schedule, and yeah, we just needed a week off.
Well, that's good. Well, you're back in the swing of it. It's your second week now, right?
Yeah, my second week, I have a couple of days off. But yeah, oh my God, it's like it's been the chillest job ever. Like I've literally am getting paid to like lay by the pool
Mhm,
and like journal and like do other stuff. So
mhm.
and read and stuff. So anyways, how are you? I know you drove back this morning or today.
Done. Yeah, just got back. It's been a long day. Well, one, when I'm home, I don't really get good sleep because it's like my room is bright and Mela thinks it's like 6 a.m. So I woke up early today anyway at 6:40 because Mela had a grooming appointment at 8. So I had to walk her, do everything before 8, get there. Then I had some meetings. I did work and then I left and drove back. I got here at 4:30. Then
Mhm.
I had to unload the car and then because I went to Costco, and then I had to go to Courtney's and give her
I
her
had to
stuff
go
too.
to Costco today too.
Mhm.
I had a
Then I
flat
went
tire.
Oh, that's annoying. Then I went to Courtney's because I had to give Courtney her stuff, and then went to park my car, walked back here, talked on the phone to Shahani, and now I'm here, so I'm just exhausted, but
She's not happy, Bob.
I'm not happy, chat, but it's okay. Regardless, it is what it is. However, we got a lot of stuff to talk about today, so let's get
Yeah.
to it. I really wanna can I go I'll be on trial first.
Yeah, who's on trial, Alexis?
So, I don't know if anyone's heard about the Tim Hortons situation, but
Oh, yeah, Alexis has been wanting to talk about
I've been wanting to
this.
talk about this, and I've been wanting Samantha to watch the video because I just find it fascinating. I feel like it's an interesting debate. But basically,
I gotta watch
um,
it.
if y'all did not know, so basically a 75-year-old woman, Miss Anita Grayson, died in a Tim Hortons in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And so basically we know this happens because one, she's a Black woman, let me say that, Miss Anita Grayson. So we find that this happens because her daughter has been posting on social media that her mother has passed at this Tim Hortons. It was foul play, and no one's talking about it. The police aren't releasing anything and putting pressure on the police. So initially,
Mhm.
a lot of the Black community, of course, we ride for each other. So the minute we hear that a Black lady died in Tim Hortons just for going in, and we're already like, let's fucking
Right.
ride for her. So then the police department releases the video footage with no audio, but the video footage of Miss Anita Grayson entering the Tim Hortons and what transpired. And that's when everybody has questions. So I'll just explain it. So basically, you see Miss Anita Grayson come into the Tim Hortons, and she's angry. She's coming in hot. Okay. She's coming in hot. She eventually goes
Mhm.
over to the side. You know, like when there's a cash register and it's like there's the cash
Yes.
registers in the front and on the side, there's like the flapping doors that you can like, like the customers, not
Mhm.
customers, sorry, the workers can go in and out of.
Yeah, it's like
So she goes over to that
employees
side and starts
only.
cussing.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know if she's cussing because again, there's no audio, but she's waving her hand. She's coming in hot and aggressive. There are two white women workers at the cashier register. We come to find that one of them is a minor, 17. The one that Miss Anita Grayson is initially yelling at is a minor. She's 17. She's
Mhm.
yelling at, waving her arms. The 17-year-old is bucking back at her on her side of the barrier. Eventually though, the on shift manager, like the team lead or whatever, comes in like to the rescue of the 17-year-old because I think she's like, I'm not gonna really have a minor in this type of interaction with a hostile adult. So she steps
Shit,
in the
I'm
middle and
watching it
begins
as you're
like
talking about it.
she steps in the middle and begins arguing with again the lead, the team lead, which I think is a 20-year-old, yelling and arguing at Miss Anita Grayson. You see multiple times with the team lead pointing at the door, pretty much being like, I'm assuming gesturing, please leave, please leave. Miss Anita Grayson
Mhm.
does not leave. At one point, Miss Anita Grayson is getting closer and closer to the point where like the 20-year-old is like, again, she's in the middle of the 17-year-old and Miss Anita Grayson.
She put
She
her
puts
hands
her
on her
hands on Miss Anita
purse.
Grayson. Yeah, she puts her hands on Miss Anita Grayson. In my opinion, it is in a way to be like, back up. Like you're coming across the barrier, back the hell up. It was not enough of a push that
Right.
like she fell. It was enough of a push. But at a certain point, I was talking to Courtney about this, someone who's been in service. Like
Mm-mm.
at a certain point, like there is a way to like, security does it all the time where they're like moving you back. Like, you know? So
Mhm.
once that happens, Miss Anita Grayson then takes it upon herself to punch the 20-year-old. And when I say punch, I mean punch. Like punch, fist to the nose, head comes up from the impact of the punch, and a fight ensues immediately. Immediately a fight ensues, but obviously because she just punched the 20-year-old. So they're on the floor, and pretty quickly, once Miss Anita Grayson gets on the floor, like they kind of stop fighting, and the other team people are trying to like roll her over, whatever, get her good. What comes about this is eventually Miss Anita Grayson dies of a heart attack. She does not die of like blunt force trauma or like impact to a head, anything. She dies of a heart attack. So once this video footage is seen, a lot of people have questions, and one of them is that like, is Miss Anita Grayson like actually at fault? Like, sorry, is she actually the one to blame, or is she not the one to blame? I have a lot of thoughts. This is my thought. I'm of the opinion that it is tragic that someone would die, like in this way. Like it sucks that somebody, it sucks. No one should die over like a wrong order or whatever it was. However,
Yeah.
I do believe that Miss Anita Grayson has a lot of responsibility for this. Um, First of all, like there's been a lot of people like chatter saying like, well, like aren't the employees trained to do this and they should have had the wherewithal and the maturity, yada yada yada. This is a 17-year-old. And for me, as a former teacher and just as an adult now, I'm not putting more of the onus on a minor than a grown adult who has lived life and should have the more maturity and emotional intelligence um, to behave. Secondly, she came in aggressive. She came in looking for a fight, if in my opinion. Like if I came in and there was a wrong order and I just wanted the order to be fixed, I wouldn't come in like that. I would actually like my goal would be to get the order. To come in so hot like that makes me think that like the purpose of this was not to get your order fixed. It was potentially to, I don't know, right or wrong or tell the girl not to disrespect you, whatever it is. I wouldn't come in like that. But secondly, if you watch the video, it was to the point where she was like moving like the flapping doors were moving with how close she was to the barrier to coming in, and how close she was going. She was stepping up to a 17-year-old. And I do feel like it is the responsibility of the team lead to get in the middle between the minor and the grown ass adult. And I also think there is levels to this because there's also other people being like, well, if you touch me first, then then, you should deal with whatever I have to do after. I think that is like someone who says that has the emotional intelligence of a toddler. Because I live in New York. People literally bump into me constantly when I'm at the subway, when I'm at the grocery store, even when I'm in Maryland. I was at Trader Joe's today. Somebody bumped into me. if I lived by, if you bump into me and touch me, that gives me grounds to swing on you, I would be arrested. I would not have a job, and I would literally have an awful life because that's just not sustainable to live. Somebody who is actively trying to separate you from a minor that you're stepping up to, like acting as if you could do something to, is not enough grounds to punish them.
So, a
And
question. The
mhm.
lady that they fought was this is the minor?
The lady that she was initially arguing with was a 17-year-old. When
And
the
who
other
was
person, the other
fighting?
lady who comes over is a 20-year-old because she's stepping in the middle because she's like, I'm not going to have this 17-year-old in this situation. The one that Miss Anita Grayson punches is the 20-year-old because she's standing in the middle.
Okay.
Who punches the 20-year-old. So back to what I was saying. Just because someone puts their hands on you like by accident or to separate you from something does not give you grounds to punch them. I'm sorry. That is the emotional intelligence of a toddler. I'm sorry. We all get bumped
Are
into
you
all. And so I
I
think
wanna
at the end
say
of the
what.
day, so then, unfortunately a fight ensues and unfortunately she dies. And I think that is very unfortunate. It's not something to play around with. It's not something to laugh at. Like, it's a horrible situation. No one should die that way. I think that it's going to be very hard for them to try to get a murder charge on these two girls when she died of a heart attack. Like, like the medical report is in, like she died of a heart attack, and like I think an hour after the fight. She did not die of like, fighting, blunt force trauma to the head, blood and bleeding, whatever. And I think that alone is going to be a lot because there might have been pre-existing conditions. And I'm not trying to say, I think it's unfortunate, but I do think that when you swing on someone, I would expect to get punched back if I punch someone. Like
Right.
that's just not. We live in America. She had to expect
Right.
she was going to get beat up after getting punched.
So I
After punch.
literally I like was watching the video as you were
Mhm,
talking about it.
mhm,
Um okay, so a couple of things, like, yes, this lady was, coming in looking for a fight, like you said, like
mhm,
looking for a fight, got, like coming in hot. I feel like with that alone, you have to accept some responsibility of, like, what it turns into, like the consequence. I think sometimes we have to realize, I think, just as people in general, like we have to realize, you might not want to flick that person off because they
mhm,
might, have road
mhm,
rage. You know what
mhm.
I mean? And
Absolutely.
people are crazy these days. So
Absolutely.
whatever. So I feel like that's a part of it. I will say, watching this video, watching the interaction, like from the angle that I am, the 20-year-old, when she pushed her back, she like went like that. Like she like bucked up at the
Mhm,
old lady. So like
mhm,
she pushed, like the push thing happened, right? So she
mhm,
like put her hand to like move her back, and the lady kind of pushed her back because she touched her. Okay, and I feel like that's even a reflex. Like, okay, you're touching me, and y'all both kind of push each other a little hard. And then that's the only part that is a little bit crazy to me, is the 20-year-old. I'm going to send you this clip because I don't know if you've watched it in a while.
mhm.
But like she pulls up on her like, bitch, what the fuck you about to do? Like she was really about to fight her. And
Did she?
at that point, like that's when you're not being a manager anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
you, after, like, if you're really trying to separate, you separated, and then you came back in her face. Not saying
Yes.
I'm just saying that, like, that was an
Yes.
escalation, and like
Yes. Mhm,
I can see, like, if I was at that place, I'd be like, okay, this person got out of their manager role and started to
mhm,
wreck with this old lady after, like,
mhm,
she did come in her face, like, kind of asking for a fight, I will say. And I feel like this lady, I feel like 70-year-old, 5-year-old women's, like, people just, I just feel like we're all, just a girl at the end of the day. Like,
mhm,
this lady probably, if somebody was getting in her face like that when she was 17, she probably would have,
mhm,
hit
mhm,
them, whatever. So I just feel like, again, I don't, yes, like it is unfortunate, like you said. I'm curious how it is gonna play out because there are things when it comes to, you know, like the fall and things like that do lead to heart attacks. Like
Mhm,
things are very connected that
mhm.
way, you know, like an incident can lead to things like that. And so, yeah, I don't know. Like I'm
I
not,
will say so
you know, like
go
I
ahead.
feel like it is like crazy. You know, I feel like it, not that it's crazy, but it's just like I wonder what happened for her to be
This
like
is what
she's
I
really,
think.
really mad.
The pushes were well, I'll say this. One, it's clear, I mean, there's no audio, but she was pointing to the door multiple times. So it's clear. I'm gonna assume the manager at some point was saying, "You need to leave." You know, like I'm gonna
For
assume that.
sure.
That
I
happened
know.
it looked like 3 different times. She it did not. So at that point, she's already trespassing.
The bucking is
Apparently the
not it.
legal term for that is that like you when you're asked
Sure.
in like a place of establishment to leave and you refuse to leave,
Mhm.
you are you are now trespassing. I will say
Okay.
the 2 pushes are not equal, like proportionate. I'm looking at it right now in slow motion. One, the 20-year-old like moves
Yeah,
her.
it's
Wait,
not.
well, hold on. Let me just say, moves her, and there's no impact on Miss Anita. She does not even move backwards because of how low the
She
push
just
was.
stays
The
firm.
push
But I do think
well, let me just say,
I'm
the push
sorry.
that Miss Anita does backwards moves is to the force that it moves the 20-year-old backwards.
And then
And
she
at that
bucks at
point,
her.
and then she gets up, yeah, she gets in her face. I will say this though, again, I am I as an adult am never going to put more of responsibility, onus, and I guess account of like responsibility and onus, I guess is the part the what I will say. On a minor or a even a
It's not about the
20-year-old
minor.
over
It's
a
not about the minor at
75-year-old.
that point.
And then people were saying, well, they shouldn't be these people shouldn't be running the Tim Hortons. And I agree. But talk to capitalism then. The people all
I
over
mean,
the
for
country
sure, at
employ
the end of the
20
day,
year
this is
olds
a
for cheap labor.
20
Like, you know
and
what I'm saying?
17.
I
At the end
mean,
of the day, 20 and 17, they're both kids. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean,
these
my
are
friend
both
was running the Ritas in Delaware at college. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not the
right. But
fault
I'm
of the employee.
saying,
That's the fault of Ritas, or Tim Hortons.
yes, yes. And I will just say, I just think that, yeah, like I think that's a good point. Like running Ritas at 20 or like, you know, do they train these kids to be able to handle that? Because that does take a sense of, you know,
Emotional intelligence and
the
maturity.
emotional intelligence, being older, being able to handle and
Mhm,
de-escalate things
mhm.
because
And they
the
probably
way
did
you
what kids are
handle
saying,
the
which is to
the
ask to
way
leave.
I know, but there is and I think like when you do work in service or whatever, like de-escalating it's a skill, you know what I'm saying? Like it is a skill to keep your cool, you
Absolutely.
know, and not engage with this lady.
Mhm,
Like it's not, even if it's like it's not worth y'all two lives. Like
mhm, mhm,
this lady, you don't know who this could have been. She could have had a gun. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
mhm.
it's not your role to stop and fight and be the hero today. Like you just need to
Get her off
not
the
engage with her.
establishment. Yeah.
Yeah, but not to the point where you're using your body in any way, shape, or form. Like
No, but I
it should
think that
not
the
come
reason
to
it got
that.
there is because Miss Anita Grayson put herself at the barrier where
Okay, but even that, Alexis, like
if
even
she didn't
that,
go, do you think that she really would have stayed on that side of the
she would
barrier?
not. Yes, I do.
You
I
do?
think
I
I
don't. The
do.
reason
I don't
I
think
say
she
is
was about to walk into the back.
I just don't think
Like
anyone's in their right mind coming into a store like
I've
that.
seen people like that though. I've seen
I've seen
people
people do that, and I think they're crazy when I see
they'll
it.
maybe fight over the thing. I've
That's
seen that, but
crazy.
it is crazy. But what I'm saying is I don't think that lady would have come up, like she probably would have done a lot of talking. It didn't have to be that. It didn't have to
It
be that.
I think she's completely in the
Fighting.
wrong. I'm sorry, you're 75 years old. Like, you should have the emotional intelligence, the maturity,
I
the all of
agree. It
that to
shouldn't have
know that,
gotten
like
to that
handle yourself
because
better. And I
my thing is
also
that
think
she should have known that these kids are she was risking getting into a fight. You know
I
what I'm
think her
saying? Like
reaction was not proportional to what happened to her. The punch
what
was not
happened to
proportional.
her?
Well, I'm just saying like you're saying, for example, she got bucked at, right? Like I'm talking about the things that happened to her. I don't think the punch is at all proportional to a buck. It's not proportional to the movement of being like
Well,
moved backwards.
that's
I don't think a
fighting
punch is
language.
proportional. It is. It might
I
be fighting
I
language,
think
but I'm
for
just saying like
people,
that's not proportional. And so I think that
I don't know.
they would have to answer to that. Like it's just like, um,
If somebody got in my face like the way that girl did,
I mean,
I
I think
don't
I
I
would have
don't
done the same thing the girl
my
did. If
thing is
I'm a
not
worker
to
and someone pushes me to the point where I'm falling back, I don't think I have the self control to be like, please leave again, ma'am. I think if I get pushed to the point where I'm knocked off my balance, I might also put my fist up, and but I probably would then take a deep breath and be like, don't hit this bitch. And I probably would tell her like, I'm not
so
gonna hit you,
that's
but you have to leave.
but
But that's probably what
Alexis,
the
the
lady happened to the
unfortunate
lady.
thing about that is like you do got to be thinking like that because this lady, she might not just not, she might swing on you. Like, you know what I'm
Well,
saying?
she
Like,
did, yeah,
if
over
you're
not.
not willing to, you need to be like, what the fuck, lady? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I just think that they did everything they needed to. I mean, I think that like they did everything that I would expect a 20 and 17-year-old to do. I actually think they handled it better than I think most 17 and 20-year-olds would do. I think the fight would have ensued much earlier with the immaturity of some 17 and 20-year-olds. I think the fact that they asked her multiple times to leave to start was more mature than many 17-year-olds. There and so
there
I
is
just
so
feel like
much you can do though. I guess I get mad at the
and
management
And
because,
I feel like for her not to leave after continuously being asked to leave, like there has to be some accountability on that end. And
yeah,
then
there is.
and
There
then
needs to be.
to do that
Yes.
with a 17-year-old to the point where the manager had to come in to get in between you, also there has to be some accountability that you're doing that to a minor. And then to go as far as to I do think that it matters. Like she survived that. There could be serious charges on like assaulting a minor, especially at their work after you trespass and stayed. Like that is not like
Yeah. I
talk
don't know
about.
what, maybe you need to go to your management. Maybe like, like
Absolutely.
I think people have a short fuse these days,
Because
I
somebody
don't
was
know.
like,
Who
"What
knows
if this
what's
is your
happened.
mother or grandmother?" And I'm like, "My mother would never behave like this." Like, if something she's a Black woman in America. She's been disrespected in a driveway before. She's been drive-through before. She's had wrong orders. She would never behave like this because, 1,
I feel
she
like
had
sometimes there are people that get played with though. And I'm not saying that this is what happened with this lady. I have gotten in an argument with like
I don't go there.
I have gotten in an argument with like a parking meter person, not a parking meter person, but like one of the people in the DC garages because they all have a bad attitude. I don't know what it is about them, but like literally they're like, you need to go that. They're talking to my mother like that. And
Mhm,
I'm like, don't fucking talk to my mother. Like I have talked to people like that. So what I'm
mhm,
saying is like, there are instances where people play with you and I don't know
mhm.
what, that's why I'm just saying like, I don't know what happened. I'm not going to be like, uh, I don't know. I don't think you should be talking to a 17-year-old like that. But I think that, like you said, when those people are in place as a employee, there needs to be management. There needs to be somebody to speak to
Mhm.
in those situations. And I feel like, yeah, I think Tim Horton failed because this should never has happened. Like this shouldn't have happened. Like a 20-year-old, a 17-year-old, like honestly, we put too much
It's just cheap labor. They're just
responsibility
like,
on these.
we
It's
can pay them
crazy
this
though. I
amount.
mean, even with like the lifeguarding stuff, I'm like, this is a 17-year-old job. Like it is like those are the ages that people get into lifeguarding. And it's just like
Mhm,
we put
exactly.
a lot of onus on kids. And
Mhm,
it's crazy. It's really
mhm.
crazy.
I agree, and I think
Capitalism
that,
is
like,
wild.
I think to me,
She has
I
to take
I
accountability
I
for
feel like
walking in there hot. I do
I
agree
feel
with
like
that.
everyone has accountability, like, needs to take accountability in the situation. Obviously, at the end of the day, as a worker, you fought a customer. Like, alone, that should be enough to you need to take accountability. But I guess in my mind, if someone's asking you to leave and if you're asking someone to leave and they don't, they're continuously coming up towards you. Now it's very close. You have someone behind you, there's somebody in front of you. I mean, it's like at a certain point, you would
I
need to
would
move.
back
Now,
up. I
yeah,
would
or you
back
could back
up.
up. But I guess it's like in the heat of the moment, she didn't. She did this. I feel like to me, that's just not enough to get punched. And honestly, she did better. There's a lot of 17-year-olds and
It's
20-year-olds that have
not enough to get
her
punched,
to death, like, they would have
but
not let her
people
survive
yeah,
that.
no, I agree, but it's like, to you, that's not a lot to get punched, and I
Mhm.
think that that's what everybody in the situation needs to realize. It's like, if you're making these fighting actions, there's somebody that's gonna be like, "Okay, bet," like, on both sides, and I think that yeah, like, I think that everybody needs to realize that. Like, just like, you shouldn't buck on anybody, like, and this lady shouldn't be punching people.
Well,
But I
she's
don't
dead.
know. I don't understand. I don't usually do, I don't like, know much about fighting culture, so I just try to
I
keep my
just
hands to
don't live
myself.
my life like that, and neither does my mother, and I just feel like my mother has lived 70 years on this planet, um, well,
Everything comes back to
well, I'm just
ourselves.
saying, like, it's just like she's been played with. She's been, this is a person who was born in the 1957. She's been played
I
with. She's been
know,
all this.
Alexis, but
This is
that's
just
one
not. She would
person.
not go do that. And so it's just like, I'm not saying one person, but I'm just saying like I've been in places. I remember with my grandmother where she got played with at McDonald's. Like it's just like at the end of the day, I do feel like sometimes you have to pick your battles. That's something my mother always says to me. And it's like, and I
Mhm.
feel like that day there would have been a thought, like, I just feel like for both of them, for the workers picking your battles and for her, Miss Anita Grayson,
Yes.
picking your battles. And was this really a battle worth picking? Because
I
it can
guess
turn
one of
out very dangerous. And for me, usually a wrong order or a disrespect from a worker that I have a
yes,
very slow interaction
Alexis.
with in a drive-through is not a battle I'm willing to pick outside of, like, if they
I
call me
agree.
idiot, like, it's just not a battle I'm willing to
And it's
pick,
just like,
and
did
so
she? I don't know. But
I mean, she might have,
but
but, like, it's just not a battle I'm willing to pick, and so I just feel like
and
it
I
all it
guess
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I just feel like as like a wellness professional, I be thinking about like, yeah, it's unfortunate that people are at that level of like not able to control themselves. Like, you know what I'm
Mhm,
saying? Like that is a lot of the problem that we have right now. Like when it comes
mhm,
to road rage and people do not have
mhm,
nervous systems that are um equipped to handle situations, like choose their battles basically.
mhm,
It's just like
mhm,
they flip a switch. Like
mhm.
that lady did not, I'm sure she did not think she was going to die that day. Like,
No, she probably
like
thought she
she
was going
was
in
ticked
to
off
do it
and was,
next. Mhm.
off. And yeah, so that's why we need to meditate more, people. So no.
Yeah, yeah. I guess, like, my message to people is pick your battles because you don't know who's on the other end of it,
And fighting is
and
so,
I mean, we're just too old for that. At
we're just
17,
so
I'm fine to
fragile.
fight, but
No, it's
75,
like,
I'm not
no.
fighting fucking
And
nobody. Like, yeah,
I
you always
think I
start punching
saw
someone at 75? Hell no.
I think I saw a video that was probably in response to this. Like, they were like, people don't think about like the possibility of dying like after a
Mhm,
fight. Like she was like, people die
mhm,
every day from
mhm,
fights. It's just like, oh,
mhm,
like, you get hit, you go home, and then you die. Like, there's a possibility of dying at any age. Like, we are so fragile. We're playing around with our fragile bodies. Like, that's what like, even talking about this heart attack. It's just like, yeah, you hit your head too hard. It's that we're that fragile. So
You just have to care about yourself more. Like, you have to have more, like, care for yourself and respect and love for yourself that, like, you wouldn't put yourself in some harmful situations.
yes,
And it's
exactly.
like, I'm not gonna put myself in a situation where I could get jumped, like, knowingly off of my actions, right? And I
Right.
feel like I would have more respect for myself to do that either way. Like, if you're the worker, like, I have more respect. I would never wanna be seen as a person who's fighting a customer, but also as the customer, I don't wanna be seen as a 75-year-old woman who's
Yeah.
enjoying retirement and she's
Period.
fighting. Like, it's just
Period.
embarrassing.
And I think
And
this should be a lesson to, like you said, capitalists and people that are in charge of these companies. they need older people. Like, I do feel like there's such a difference of, you know, being in my 30s and being in management and stuff like that. It's just like, yeah, this is not for a child to handle, like answering questions and I
Yeah.
mean answering
Well,
questions, but you know, handling serious situations.
customers who won't leave when you tell them to leave. Like, you know, like dealing with
Exactly.
insane, hostile people that make it have to get escalated because they're refusing to just leave. And
Right.
so, yes, I agree. But that's all I wanted to say. I rest in peace, but I do think she should have made better choices that day. And I hope
Yeah.
that family get the justice they did because they deserve because no one
Yeah.
wants to die.
I
But I
hope
do
there's
think,
some
in my
audio.
opinion, there was a lot of things she could have done to not be in that situation.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Yes. Should we move on?
Yes, let's move
What else
on.
should we talk about?
Monique Morgan, she is out of
Oh,
jail.
Dominique Morgan is free. I'm so happy that our sister is out and she's been back to her shenanigans on TikTok and stuff. Did you watch her podcast that she like did you hear she was like doing a podcast where she's going to just talk about everything and just like lay it all out and she did that
Yay!
last
Wait,
night
so
and
she did so the episode's out?
it's out. I'll send it to you.
Send it to me, I can't wait to listen.
But
'Cause
yeah, I'm
there's
just
so
so
much
happy
drama
that she
around that.
is. There is, and it's just sad, like, the fact that Dominique was in Rikers, like, are you
Mhm.
serious? Like, what does that say?
It said it took a loctician in Houston 4 days and 4 bottles of Sacred to comb out Jay-Z's locks. That's, like, nothing. It took me, like, 3 months to get my locks out. But I guess he had, like, 7
Damn.
locks on his head, so it's probably different.
Right.
But go ahead. Oh, yeah, but I
Yes,
can't
and
wait to listen. Once I listen, I can then be prepared to talk more about it because I don't wanna, like, say
yes.
anything wrong, but we're just happy she's
Yeah.
out, and we know she'll give us,
Yes,
like, a thorough thing, and I wanna hear about Rikers. I wanna hear what the hell that was
I
like for 21 days
know. She
as
said that
Dominique was now versus, like, what she was like.
right. Did you hear have you been, like, watching her videos where she was like, she was like, "I kinda miss hearing the New York accents in, like, at 5 in the morning." She was
Oh
like,
my.
"I could go for your like, it was so crazy, but yeah, I just hope that she feels free and at peace and it is enjoying her freedom and yeah, we're here for what's next.
Mhm.
But yeah, watch the podcast. I need to finish it myself. But
I wanna did you wait, what did you think of Jay-Z at the Roots picnic? Did you like the look? Did you like the afro? He combed out his locks, y'all.
yeah,
I think he looks
so
ridiculous.
you say you think he looks ridiculous.
Yes.
I know, and I sent it to you, Alexis. It was just funny. Like definitely the first couple of pictures was just
He just
like
doesn't look good to me. I don't know, I feel like this is someone who's, like, lost on, like, what they want their, like, image to look like. I don't know, because I'm like, when he first started the locks, I was kinda
mhm.
like, "Oh, really? Like, that's kind of random, fine, okay." And then he has these locks, and now I'm like,
Well, everybody's just like he's gonna have the Caesar at the July shows. Like he's gonna cut his hair for the
I
July
think he should. I
shows.
think that's his look. Like, he should cut
Yeah.
cut his hair.
That's what
I don't
he's
think the
gonna
afro's his
do.
look.
No, 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 no. So I feel like that was like a one night thing. This is
Mhm.
the roots. I'm gonna look like
Uh,
Questlove and have my
I get it.
afro or whatever.
I get it.
But it
Boy, bye.
yeah, just like there's
Just
so much imagery and
right. He's
like
living in a fantasy
symbol
that he
you're
really thinks
right. It's like a there's like a symbolism that,
he thinks he's the
you
black fucking
know
Maya Angelou. Like, hell no. We don't look to you for none of that.
and so and that's like what's funny is just like I'm sure, you know, being there was like really like, you know, fun and like the energy was probably like really fun and like songs and stuff. I just feel like I'm starting to feel like you can go to sleep. They are entertainers. So it's just like you just wanna enjoy, you don't wanna have to, like, think about it really, and it's just like it's so easy to just go to sleep with all the glitz and glamour and then like the lore and story behind it. It's just like easy to just be like, oh my God, like, you know, Jay-Z has his fro out like blue and blah, 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 blah. And it's just, I don't know, but like on its own, I feel like it's weird to see him try to be this civil rights, not civil
That's what
rights,
I'm
but
saying, like,
like,
he thinks he's the Black Maya Angelou, like, he has a voice in this time, and we look to him at like, I don't look at him as, like, a Black thought leader at all, like, in any
right.
world. His business
It's just a
deals
lot of people
alone
though, I
yeah, his
think.
business deals alone I don't see him as, like, a Black critical theorist, a Black thought, like, leader at all. Um, and then also I was embarrassed by, like, freestyle he did. I hate to say it, but it was just kinda like, at a certain point, like, I was like, "Yeah, that would be cool if you were, like, Kendrick, but, like, you're 50 doing a
Right.
diss freestyle." Like, at this point, you should be retired and with your kids. Like, I don't know, I was just kinda like, "You're 50 dissing?" Like, I just felt that that was kind of lame. Like, at a certain point,
Yeah.
maturity has to take over.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think
I
like
mean,
you
yes,
said,
if someone's talking about your
he's
kids,
very much in the lore of it all. Like, I think people like Jay-Z because I think they like how he told like his story about being a drug dealer and like
Mhm.
just
Rising
the
from
way that
that.
he yeah, like just the way he talked about it and described it and stuff. Like I think people and like the double entendres and stuff, I think people feel like they gave people some kind of map or like the blueprints or you
Mhm.
know, and so I think that that's the lore. And so when the veil starts to become thin and you start to like see beyond it, it just looks like yeah, it looks like a costume of
Mm.
like even like the California. Like I was definitely getting like, is he Easy E now or like you know like Ab Soul? I'm just like he looks like a California rapper. I don't know. I just think when you see through the cracks sometimes it just makes it less like fantastical. I don't know the right word, but like you said, like the freestyle, like on first listen, it's just like, what's happening here? But like everybody's like, it's gone over your head, like you're gonna like you don't get it, like we get it, like you know, it's
He's
just
a
like
person that gets to benefit off of his which makes sense, like most people do, like his history, his legacy. But I think like that clouds the last maybe 10 years, 12 years of his like present where he's been like kind of questionable in a lot of things. And
right.
he gets to hide behind Beyonce. I mean, I would say, yeah,
Hmm.
and the family, the bit that
Even
they built.
taking his hair out is like a symbol of like,
Yeah.
oh, he had
The
to take his
family they
hair
were
out.
able to build over the last 12 years and just like I don't know, it's just like I saw this as like lame. I hate to say it, but it was just kind of like it's cool that he like came and did his rapping, but it was just like you came out with your
Jasmine
hair like
Sutherland.
yeah, and you came out with your hair combed out, you looked crazy, you just looked weird. And then like the whole I don't know, the like freestyle that's when I was like, he's embarrassing. Like when I saw like the freestyle, I was like, he's embarrassing, dog. Like so embarrassing.
Yeah, it's definitely weird to see him kind of it does seem a little like flaily and vulnerable and even to like seeing him with the short cut, I wonder what that's gonna look like.
I think he'll look better. I honestly think his best looks are when he has shorter hair. I think he has a big ego, as Beyonce said. He sees himself as probably, like I said, like
Handsome.
a black thought leader, hands like I mean, not even about looks, but I think he thinks that he's probably smarter than he is, and people should listen to him. And I just don't think that like I think alone, just that alone, as a billionaire, and you think people should listen to you, and that you are the leader of a minority group as a billionaire is like insane. And so I just think that like he just doesn't impress me, and it just makes me sad that Beyonce is impressed by him because it makes me think
Right.
it makes me think just a little bit less of her because I'm like,
Mhm.
this is your king, this is your
Right.
Like,
this is what you gonna stand 10 toes
right,
down.
this is what you're, like, bopping your head to and, like, you're a god? Like, no.
Like, she is a fan of
Mm,
she's into the lore too.
mhm,
She was
yes.
wearing the Rockefeller jacket.
Yeah, like, she's very
It's
much like, like, he would like, Imma wear his chain, like, it's just like she's down,
Oh,
like,
yeah, she's down
there's
bad. She is the rock
yes,
for life. Like,
yes,
she will
regardless
always
of the cheating, regardless of the, everything,
mm-mm.
and that was another thing, I saw somebody tweet this, is kinda random, but somebody, like, they retweeted the 7-Eleven music video, and they were like, "This is when she, like, left and was, like, made this song
Mhm.
just to, like, make him jealous, and talk," and I'm like, "I'm
Yep.
sorry, but, like, is nobody find that embarrassing?" Like, if I'm
Right.
married and I had to make a public song to make my husband my partner jealous, I
And be
would
like,
be
"What is she
so
doing?"
embarrassed, like, I'm in a
Yeah,
marriage, I should not be this insecure
right.
or I should not wanna make a public spectacle of it. Like, it was just like, that's like, I just feel like
For
sometimes people
sure.
don't, like, think about that in the sense that, like, we would and I love Beyonce now, but we would consider that, like, to be embarrassing
Yes.
if
For
we,
sure.
in a marriage and then I had to make a public music video to make him jealous. What?
Yeah. I know. I know. It is. I agree. Imma just send you this post, it was like Beyonce was on stage, not this was like a long time ago, but like on stage, like in Undercover. So she is like the rock down.
I'm like, "Oh my god. Girl, relax,
She came
it's
on stage.
embarrassing. It's embarrassing, like, I don't know, it's like, I wanna ride for, my
My
wife too.
person.
Yeah, my person too, but it's
Mhm.
like, I wouldn't you gotta have your own identity. Like, I'm gonna be their biggest fan, but it's not gonna be like that. Like, I'm sorry. I can't. Like, I'm not, because I feel like at a certain point, it becomes addictive, it becomes obsessive, it becomes, like, way more than just a marriage, because, again, you made a music video and a song and released it to make him jealous? Like, you can't, like, that's so unhealthy.
I mean, I think she truly is his biggest fan, and if you think about fandom, like, they ride hard for that
Mhm.
shit, like, they
That's true.
believe in that shit, so
True.
she is the rock, like, she is down bad for that lifestyle, so, yeah.
Mm,
I know,
mm.
and I agree, it makes me be like, "Really? This is what we're buying into or what we're,
I
like,
just
really." But I think she makes a lot of sacrifices for I think she does think she is no, I don't know because the girl wears the jackets and, she shows up, so I just
mhm.
have to believe this is where you wanna be, you're not making a
Oh, I think
sacrifice
so.
for your husband or your child or, like, you know what I mean?
I think so, but again, I'm always like, I would just love to see their marriage, because if you're at the
He is
point where you
Hove in that world. Like, he
yes, yes,
is,
yes,
like, he is the
final
god.
say, yes.
Or just like, people are calling him to get his advice on,
Mhm,
he is
mhm,
making the deals. So like, yeah,
mhm,
that she
mhm, mhm.
is that
I agree
is
with
who
that,
he
and I guess I'm just kinda like,
is.
"Okay," and okay. Like, I
I
just
know. I
okay.
know. I mean, I always just feel weird when it's just like, the part of their legacy that just feels off is like the man a lot of the times. But
Yeah, that's a point. That's a really good point.
I that kind of goes into my last thing I wanted to talk about, which was just a little bit about Euphoria. I don't want to do too many spoilers because
Mhm.
it's the last season, but I think people, if you didn't watch it last night, like it was spoiled for you. But just like it just makes me think about the concept. So like in Euphoria, like Ali, um, he was kind of making a point, which is Rue's sponsor, Coleman Domingo's character. He was
Mhm,
making a point like, you're really just there's like right and wrong in this world. And
mhm,
like if you sell drugs to kids, like you are evil. Like,
mhm,
like you are like, that is just because basically he was saying like, you know, I thought that like addiction would be solved if like more people could empathize with, addicts and
Mhm,
like that,
mhm,
like it's a disease just like cancer, blah, blah,
mhm,
blah. And then he was saying like, and then I thought about like, well, if you can empathize with like the addict, then like you can empathize with like the drug dealer because,
mhm.
they're selling drugs to, feed their family and who would be mad at, feeding their family. And he's just like, I think that's like the problem with the world now is like, we've just let things become too like, gray, like not gray, but just like there are things that are right and wrong. And he's like, I don't care, you know, selling drugs to kids, you're evil, like if you're doing that
I
to
mean,
get your
one
bitch,
could
whatever.
say just selling drugs in general, right? Like, you are making
Yes, that was just what he said.
but I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think, I agree.
So
Yeah,
yeah, that was just like an interesting point.
that is an
And
interesting point. There is right and wrong in this world, and sometimes, like, I do think we I don't even know the word,
we do
over.
the mental gymnastics.
Yeah, and it's like, yes, I mean, I don't know, like, I remember when I was a teacher, like there is this Mark said my co-teacher once said this thing where he was like, because there's this kid and he was just being like annoying and bad and he was ruining other people's things and injuring other people. It was dangerous. And I remember like what I was thinking we were gonna be on the same page of like, oh, this is the consequence we're giving. And he was like, well, no, maybe he should be able to go to the field trip or whatever. And I was like, why? And he was like,
Mhm,
because everyone like he deserves grace too. And I remember that like hit me
mhm.
because I'm like, yeah, I mean it's real. Like everyone deserves
Yeah.
grace. They're human, they're
Mhm,
living, they're walking. But I do think that like there is a point where we live in reality where it's like you can you don't like there is right and wrong. Like, and it's just like and there are people who are just made a poor choice. Maybe you want to say it that way instead of saying you're a bad person, but it's like
mhm.
it is a bad choice and you like we have to be able to like own that, and stick
Mhm,
with it,
mhm.
try to do the mental gymnastics of the other
Yeah.
side.
Yeah, it's interesting. That makes me like never mind, we'll talk about that next week. Um, but because I do feel like there is like then there's like the system at play where it's just kind of like I don't know. I feel like the things that we say are wrong. Like
Mhm.
for example, like Dominique Morgan like breaking into cars
Mhm.
like when
Mhm.
she's a child and you know what I mean? Like I don't know.
I mean, it is wrong. Like, with those
It's like
that
it
isn't
is
action.
yeah,
It's
it's like it's wrong. I just feel like I don't know. I do want to I guess I think it's more so about like what is the accountability? Like what
mhm,
makes sense? Like
mhm,
it's not
mhm,
this prison system. You
mhm.
know what I mean?
I
Like
don't know what it makes sense, but
but
I
I
do
don't know the answer to that.
yeah. I don't know the answer to it either, but I do think you're right, like it's wrong. Like, stealing cars is wrong. Like, I mean, it's like fucks up the person who I mean, I'm a person who just had my car stolen. Like all the money that we spent on that car, just we have to eat it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And yeah, we get the insurance money back, but like we also put other money into the car that you just eat. Like there are people who aren't like me who have to now take the bus until they can afford another car.
Right.
Like that sucks. I think that like I don't know, but I think that
For that just makes
this
me
is a
think of
reality.
like for this specific situation with Dominique, like it feels
Mhm.
like she was like the scapegoat of something. And I'm
I gotta hear it
curious, like,
all, even
yeah, like it's just like, do you feel like that's possible too? It's just like
that people are
things
scapegoats.
things just like are unfairly done
Yeah, yeah.
to people that can land themselves in like,
Mhm.
I do feel like the justice system is so,
I mean,
anybody can sue you
mhm.
for anything. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
mean, I think all the time, like, I think, I mean, isn't there like a statistic or something? It's like the majority of, or like at least a significant amount of people in prison are like, don't really, haven't
right.
even really done their crime. But yes, I agree. I mean, I think about like the other day, I
Mm,
was thinking about like,
that's so
I mean,
sad.
I feel like it went viral a couple years ago, like that black lady who all she did was just like misreport her zip code so her kid could go to a better school and she
Mm,
went to jail for like 4 years. It's like even little things like that. It's just like of course the justice system can be like screwing people over
right.
for or just like you were in a a group of y'all did something and there's one person who takes the brunt of everything and is the scapegoat, you know? And so, um, I think yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. I hope
Yeah,
that
it's
just life repays them.
wild.
That's kinda how I always feel. I'm like, I hope you know, when I see those videos where it's like, after 50 years, he's released because the DNA showed he didn't do it, and I'm just
Oh
like, I
my
hope life treats
god.
him well for the next 30. I hope that they got so many millions that they can, like,
Mm,
be in a different zone.
we
Like
need to follow those stories.
mhm. I
But
know. I mean,
yeah,
the Park 5, you know, like, I mean, there's so many people where that kinda shit
I
happens to.
know. It's crazy. But, I don't know if we can take this part out if, like, we shouldn't talk about it, but, like, I'm curious what your thoughts are on, like, knowing that Rue died at
Died.
the end of yeah, like, that she died at the end of the show.
Did
Like,
you
I know
like
you
it?
didn't watch it. Oh my god, I am, like I'm still so sad about it, like, it is so it's very real, it felt
Mhm,
like the like, what Sam Levin said was, like, the honest way of, like,
mhm,
telling the story,
mhm,
especially the fact that the cast lost a cast member, like, to
mhm.
this
Yep,
literal specific
yep,
thing,
literally.
and they just told it in such a heart-wrenching way that, like, you can see um the perspective of Rue of just like, she's trying her best, like the way that
Mhm,
she got set up in this situation.
mhm.
Um, so yeah, I'm definitely curious your thoughts when you do decide to watch it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm proud. I mean, I'm proud they went there. You know, like I was not expecting her to die at the end, and I feel like that's like like that used to be a thing. I feel like when we were in like middle school and high school, that the main character at the end of the seasons, like I mean, at the end of the series, usually ends up dead. But that hasn't happened in a while, and so like it was interesting. But I do think that's honest. Like addiction is a crazy
Yes, it
a
is.
thing, and it's like you can try your hardest and
Especially
one day where you make it do something and then it goes too far. I mean
yeah, and
yeah.
especially, like, with another thing that Sam Levinson was talking about in the after credits was just, like, that fentanyl is a thing, like,
Mhm,
he was
mhm.
like, "If that was a thing when I was, in active addiction, like, I probably wouldn't be here, like, most people are
Exactly,
dying of
exactly.
fentanyl," like and so
Mhm.
it definitely was like, a very needed PSA, about that, and so
I agree, and
yeah,
just
it was a lot.
it's a lot though. I mean, when I found out, I was like, "Oh my god." I was like, that made me wanna, like, really, like, watch it because I was
Yes,
like,
please
"That
watch
is I
it.
was not expecting it to end like that," and I mean I would love to hear Zendaya's, like, thoughts on it,
Right.
just
Oh,
because I'm
yeah.
sure she was like that's heavy. They're dealing with heavy, real material in this show
Oh
that I feel
my
like they've done
god.
such a good job, especially with the drugs, of, like, not, like,
Glorifying
making
it.
it, like I don't know, like,
Fun.
they just did a good job of not making it super fun, like, showing the realities that it's miserable. These people don't want to be like this.
Mhm.
And they cry and it's a addiction, but then also the
Mhm.
realities of it. I feel like they did such a great job, and I do think that unfortunately, probably I mean, I don't know the statistic, but I would like to see the percentage of drug addictions that end in deaths versus recovery. I would love to see that.
Yes, I know, and that was, like, it's fascinating to watch it because, like, I mean, obviously, as you're watching it, you know, there's, like, an episode where Ollie you see him going back, like, through his different sponsees, and, like,
Mhm.
he has, like, a book that they like, different people that have died, and it's just like, "Okay, they're trying to, like, set us up for, like" it's
Yeah,
just
they're
so
giving
fucking
hints. Yeah,
it's
they're giving
heart-wrenching, but
Mhm,
it was a very well done last episode. I feel satisfied
mhm.
as a customer, but it really has, like, stuck with me, like, I woke up thinking about the episode and just like, "Oh my god,
True.
Rue." I love
Uh,
that girl.
I know. She's a
And it's like
fantastic
she gets to be
actress.
back with her dad, like, it's
Mhm.
just so it's too
She's
much.
a fantastic actress. It was a fantastic
Oh
show.
my
I
gosh,
can't
she
wait to see
is.
what happens next and just which other HBO
Ooh, I
shows.
can't wait
HBO
for you to
always is
watch it.
I love HBO.
I know.
Maybe I'll start it again tonight. Um,
Yes, I can't wait to hear all your thoughts because yeah, it was a lot of, interesting stuff. Like people were talking about like the color theory in it and stuff. I'm overwhelmed with all the movies that are out in theaters.
I
I feel like
know.
there's so many movies I like need to go see
Parents have been,
them.
like, begging me to see Michael Jackson. I will.
Yeah.
I need to see Devil Wears Prada too. I wanna see Mother Mary,
Mhm.
but I
I
have
wanna see
seen
Is God Is.
yeah, It's Got It Is, I wanna see. But I
I
Love
heard
Boosters
this.
is good, and
Oh, yeah, yeah, I heard that was good.
I wanna
That's
see the
another
one
one.
what is it, like, the Back Room or something like that?
Did you see
Horror.
Obsession? Did you see, like, this
Oh,
movie
but I've been
Obsession is
hearing a lot about it, and
yes, right?
I saw the trailer for it, like, weeks ago, and I remember being like, "Oh, I gotta see this." But I need to.
I know, and then, like, there's another Toy Story coming out.
Yes, they've been doing their red carpets. What I
Oh my
love about Toy
god.
Story is the same people voicing it still. I think that's so cute.
Yeah. Did you see, um, T Swift is, like, putting
She has
out
a
a single?
she has a song on Toy Story 5.
Okay,
Um,
that's what it is.
she has a song on Toy Story 5. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Whatever." As long as they don't come
As long as
between
it's not yeah.
Rosito, then I'm
I'm not
cool.
mad at that.
If
That's,
you
like,
put
not
something on June 13th, expect to get
yes.
hell coming at you, okay? And
When does
Serena's
it
coming out
come
of
out?
retirement. There's so many things coming up, y'all. I'm excited.
Oh my god, yes, I did see that. Lots of things, lots of things.
Well, let's talk
Thank
about
you
it
guys
next time.
so much
It's been
for
fun.
watching and listening. Like the pod, give us a review, subscribe to the channel, and we'll be back next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening. Remember to email us your discussion topics at whoamitojudgepod@gmail.com. Also, remember to subscribe to Who Am I to Judge podcast on Spotify and everywhere you get your podcast. If you love us, please rate us and review. And if you don't, leave us alone. Tell a friend to tell a friend. See y'all next week. Bye, friends.